Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of the day this video may find you. I pray that you and yours is doing well mentally, physically, and spiritually. Um, Please like and subscribe to my channel. Today I am going to do a video on the COVID death numbers. Hold tight here, okay? I'm totally not trying to profess to be a CDC expert or anything, but I've went out and gotten information to clear up some of the cloudiness that people have concerning the numbers that the CDC put out, stating that that 6% only, the 6% number and the 9% number that you keep hearing there. Okay, so I'm gonna play a recording. I had this set up on my computer, and for some reason my computer keeps going out every time I try to record this, but I had a nice little PowerPoint up for you that I may post it up on my video on my YouTube channel later. But I want you to listen to this here, and then I'll move forward. And this here is some recordings from the Yahoo Finance.
The U.S. has now passed more than 6 million coronavirus cases and worldwide more than 25 million. The number that is now increasingly coming under scrutiny is how many people have died from the disease. Joining us to break this down is Dr. Dara Cass, Yahoo Finance medical contributor and Columbia University Associate Professor of Emergency Medicine. Yahoo Finance's Anjali Kamani is here as well. Dr. Cass, the CDC is now saying only 6% of COVID deaths were due to the coronavirus alone. Why is this significant?
So what they did was they said that the 6% of patients who died of the coronavirus exclusively, meaning that they didn't have any other comorbid conditions. Most people haven't filled out a death certificate. So when you do, you list a cause of death, and then you list other causes of death, things like hypertension, respiratory failure, COPD, diabetes. And so what the CDC did was they really manipulated the data to say that there were 6% of patients that had no comorbid conditions, no other contributing factors, which itself is kind of, it's overwhelming. The idea that 6% of the people that died of the coronavirus had none of these other contributing factors or comorbid conditions. So it has created this narrative that the death toll has been overestimated, and that is not accurate. And we really need to remind people that the coronavirus is a deadly virus that has contributed to the death of almost 200,000 Americans and has infected 6 million Americans. And we need to keep focused on the fact that we need to address this pandemic head on.
How does this actually then get counted? Because I've heard, just as you have, this conversation about whether or not the death toll has been inflated, and there were also reports earlier on that there were undercountings, of individuals who were in nursing homes or outside of the home as well. So it seems like there continues to be a lot of confusion about this number. What would you say is a better way to look at it?
So I think that's true. There's a confusion. In the beginning, we didn't have enough testing. People were dying at home. There's this concept of the excess death rate, meaning that people who die above what a normal number would be for this time last year. And we're still above the excess death rate of what we'd expect at this time any other year. The truth is, this comes down from the idea that the federal government has not put a transparent and consistent metric for how to govern deaths from this virus and even infections and how to count them, and hasn't been consistent in that way. If we had better understanding, even training, of how to document the deaths when coronavirus is present in a patient, and more importantly, how to document that consistently, we'd have a lot better data, but we just don't have that.
Doctor, the FDA has come out and said it's willing to fast track a vaccine before phase 3 trials are over. Is this unprecedented? What does this mean?
Well, I mean, we talked about this last week, right? After the plasma, remember convalescent plasma, Brian? Where we...
I do remember, yes, I do.
So, again, I don't own the rights to the Yahoo Finance. I want to make that clear, the recording that I just played. But I wanted to play that because I wanted you to kind of clearly understand what that she said there. That 6% that the CDC mentioned, those were people that did not have any underlying conditions. They contracted COVID, but they did not have any other underlying conditions as well. The other 94% did. That does not mean that they're saying that the other 94 didn't die from COVID. They contracted COVID as well. They did have other underlying conditions prior to contracting COVID, which makes their likelihood of survival less because their immune system is weak. Their body is not strong enough to fight off the disease. And that's with any other disease. When you're dealing with people with underlying conditions, if you contract a disease, then your likelihood is less likely than someone that does not have any underlying conditions. Okay, so they're saying that 6% exclusively, meaning they just had COVID. They didn't have any other diagnosed diseases prior to contracting COVID. Okay, and the 9% number that's being thrown out there, I went and got some information from acsh.org, which comes from the CDC, and I will post some links on the comments in this video, for you guys to be able to go and look up this information yourself. But that number there is coming from back February. They did a chart for February 1 through June the 17th. And what they did was, on that chart, they compared the COVID deaths to the overall deaths in the U.S. during that time. Okay, so at that time, between that time frame, we had 103, and keep in mind the CDC numbers is always lags behind the other numbers. So when you see a CDC number put out there, it's actually a little bit more than that. Okay, but at this time that they did this chart here, we had 339,000 deaths, COVID deaths, okay, for the year. Okay, well, during that time frame, February 1 through June 17th, okay, and our total deaths in the U.S., like all the deaths that we had between February the 1st through June 17th, was 100,160,656. Okay, so when you take those two numbers and put them together, you're going to get 8.9% of COVID deaths, meaning that 103,000 of that 1,160,000, that's the COVID deaths is 8.9% of the total U.S. deaths. Okay, so that's not saying that all the coronavirus deaths. Let me I'm going to put the link up here, but I want to show you this here. This is the chart here that I have here, but I'm going to put the link up so you can see. So, but if you see there, you can see that you have the total deaths, and then you have the COVID deaths. That's where they're getting that number there from, okay? But that's not saying that the numbers of the COVID deaths that you see is only 9% of COVID deaths, that the other deaths are not COVID related. Okay, so don't let people tell you that that is true. That is not true. Like I said, the statement was made, and I think people are just I think that people are just latching on to it because people don't want to make adjustments. We're into this pandemic 6 months, and we have not been able to adjust at all. 6 months we've been in this, and we still full grown people, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old. Of course, we know that the 20-some-year-old, the college kids are, but we got parents out there that are just not, they're just not going to make adjustments. And we're killing off all of our grandparents. Let me give you this here. I know that, they've been throwing it out there about the disproportionate numbers with blacks. And that is true. We are only about 13% of the U.S. population. However, when it comes to just about any bad thing going on, we are disproportionately numbered. So, of course, with COVID, that would come in as well. And then Latinos fall behind us, okay? So, but let me throw this number out here for you. This is also the U.S. deaths from coronavirus, but it's by race, okay? And this is dated for February 1 through June 17th. The COVID deaths for whites, okay? For whites, it's 55,126. The percentage of the COVID deaths is 53.3%. So whites, basically, according to this chart here, is half of the COVID deaths, okay? However, their population number is a lot higher than ours, okay? Blacks are 23,800, which was 23% of the COVID deaths, and Hispanics were 16%, okay, 16.5%. Our U.S. population, like I said, for African Americans is around 13%. Latinos is somewhere between like the 16.7 and 18.3%. And whites, I found some numbers that was like around 60 something percent. That is what that is. When you see that, these people don't understand. A lot of them that are fighting against wearing these masks, we're killing off all of our elderly here, okay? Like the numbers in terms of age here, you see here, and this is, like I said, dated back February 1 there. You can see the age range there. Let me show you that chart that I was reading off that had the whites. Okay. And like I said, I'm going to put a link there for you. Okay. I'm going to put a link so you can be able to see, be able to go to the site yourself so you can be able to see. And I'm also going to put this one here because this is the most current one here from the CDC there, okay? But I just wanted to clear that up, that they're not saying that only 6% has died from COVID, and they're also not saying that only 9%. So I know people are hearing that 6%, that 9%, they're hearing that the 6%, but on the 6%, they're saying that of people that have died exclusively from COVID, meaning they did not have any other underlying conditions, okay, that affected their death. the COVID brought about the things like when you go onto that CDC site, you're going to see things like pneumonia, influenza. Those are things that played factors in the reason why the people didn't survive. But wanted to just get that this video out here. I had posted one the other day, was just really about my comments on the matter, but I have went and dug up some information to actually put numbers on it from the CDC and in conjunction with our population. So look, I just showed you that chart there. COVID is killing us, okay? It's not just, I know a lot of people think it's just black people because they keep hearing that about that disproportionate number, but it's actually killing more white people, and it's killing in disproportionate numbers the African American and Latinos, okay? Now, that is all go back related to these jobs that people are working in, okay? Basically what they're calling the frontline workers, okay? But I know when I go to a drive-through, and mind you, I wipe my stuff down when I bring it home before I, if I got my wipes in the car, I may wipe down my drink and stuff or whatever. But until I wipe it down, I put my sanitizer on and I wipe it down, because I can't tell you how many times I've been to a drive-through and just about everybody in there with their mask under their nose or under their chin or without a mask on, period. And these people are taking COVID back to their homes. And this is the reason why I was trying to explain to everyone that it's probably best, if you're not within that six feet distance, to have on a mask, to keep your mask with you and put your mask on even in the home. I'm sorry, last week I only was able to get out one video. I'm working on getting my little front area in my office turned into a studio space. And it's requiring me to do some physical work. And these, we've been having cool mornings. I have this rheumatoid and this fibromyalgia. And when I'm in there working, that sweat from the fibromyalgia has got me all, and then I'm aching and hurting in the morning and at night. And, starts at, in the evening at night after, and then goes on to early morning. So I'm getting up really late. So anyway, but I wanted to put this little video out here so it can clear up the confusion about that 6.9% that you're hearing and that 9% that you're hearing. All the deaths that we're reaching, almost 200,000 now of COVID deaths that you see, those are COVID related deaths. Those people, if they did not have COVID, would still be living today. I'm going to close this out. Like I said, please like and subscribe to my channel. And I should be in my studio within sometime this week here. But I usually put my videos out around 3 o'clock. And I wish you guys well. I pray that all of us will be alive at the end of this. Please be vigilant. Be prayerful. I know prayer is an amazing thing. But with this type of situation, we definitely have to do our own work. We cannot pray for God to protect us and then we go out there and expose ourselves, okay? So, you guys have a blessed day. Stay safe, Stay prayerful, but be vigilant. Have a blessed day. Bye.